The following NBC sports program is brought to you in living color.
Today, it's World Series 1973, Chapter 2. You know, for umpires, pressure translates into concentration. I'm going to show you a perfect example of that concentration. It's 1947. Cookie Lavagetto just ruins Bill Bevan's no-hitter with that base hit off the wall. But I want you to watch plate umpire Larry Getz. He umpires the ball, not the scoreboard. And he's going to dust off home plate for the next batter, Pee Wee Reese. Except that Pee Wee Reese wasn't due up until the next day. Well, there was a weather problem here in Oakland yesterday. It's called sunshine. We'll examine it in just a minute. Rain isn't the only weather problem. Sunshine can cause trouble, like it did here for Joe Rudy in the 5th inning yesterday. Joe, let's take a look at this play. Now, what happened?
Well, I saw the ball was hit over my head, and I just turned my back on it, ran to where I thought the ball was going to come down, and when I looked back up, the ball was right in the sun, and I just had no chance for it.
What do you mean where you thought the ball was going to come down? You didn't see it at all?
Well, the ball was hit, and I knew it was way over my head, so I just turned my back to the plate and started running, and when I looked back up where I thought the ball would be coming down, I couldn't find it. It was in the sun.
What can you do to help yourself besides sunglasses?
Well, on a play like that, there's nothing you can do. Normally, if the ball is hit high, you can maneuver around and get the ball off to the side and catch the ball that way. But when you're running for the ball and it goes in the sun at the last minute, there's nothing you can do.
Either cry mommy or help, huh?
Right. To be lucky, maybe it'll fall in your glove.
Joe, you weren't the only one. Cleon Jones had some problems out there in left field, and here's Cleon. Battling that sun. That's doing it the hard way, right in the weather. But other players had other problems. 3 strikes is out if the catcher holds the ball. Don Hahn proves that. He was safe at first. Here's Joe Rudy. Joe Rudy is put out by Joe Rudy. And he runs into his own bunt. Of course, there's the usual discussion. What would an argument be without Dick Williams? Bert Campaneris, a 10-foot slide, 40 feet from the bag, but it pays off. Watch Milner. Doesn't even lay a hand on him. Missed him again, even in the replay. We'll have a look at great catches that you may remember when we come back.
Mother Nature treats the second game fans to shirt sleeve weather once more. The players will not be so fortunate.
Coke here. Hey, ice cold Coke here. Hey, Coke!
Joe Rudy is the second Oakland batter of the day. This high fly becomes a double to left. It also sets the tempo for what will turn out to be the longest and one of the weirdest games in World Series history, as blinding sunshine turns every fly ball into adventure.
The World Series has always managed to have some outstanding defensive plays. And this World Series will have its own to add to plays like these. Some I think you'll remember. 1954. The tying runs on base. Vic Wertz hits a ball well over 450 feet. The young outfielder making that play is Willie Mays. Joe Hatton pitching for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Joe DiMaggio is the batter. A DiMaggio home run would tie the score. But little Al Gianfrido won't let it happen. And DiMaggio gives a rare example of emotion. Baltimore's Brooks Robinson turned the 1970 World Series into a clinic on how to play third base. Here's a shot by Lee May that's changed from a double into a double play. After having a bad day on the field in Los Angeles in the 1966 series, Willie Davis showed how he handled pressure and a would-be home run by Boog Powell in Baltimore. What a catch. Let's take another look now at Brooks Robinson. This time he's got Johnny Bench talking to himself. Here's another example of the way Brooks Robinson reacts to World Series pressure. But there is justice. A miracle catch by Ron Swoboda of the Mets off the bat of Brooks Robinson. Now, some outfielders can go to their left, like the Mets' Tommy A.G. chasing a ball hit by Baltimore's Paul Blair in 1969. Then again, there are players who can go to their right, like the Mets' Tommy A.G. on a drive by Ellie Hendricks in the same game. And just last year, Oakland's Joe Rudy almost, but not quite, ran out of room as he chased this one.
Welcome to Game 2 of the 1973 World Series. The National League champions, the New York Mets, versus the American League champions, the Oakland A's. Brought to you by Gillette, makers of Right Guard Powder Dry Antiperspirant, the anti-stain antiperspirant. And by Chrysler Plymouth, featuring the beautiful new 1974 Chryslers and Plymouths. It's going to be warmer today than yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Temperature will probably be 80 degrees. We've had 5 gorgeous days of California October weather, and again, the bright sun here in the Oakland Coliseum. The crowd would look to be bigger today. I'm Kurt Gowdy, along with Monty Moore and Tony Kubek. Lots of complaining going on about this World Series before Game 2. The batters of both squads complaining they can't see the pitches as they come out of the white shirt bleacher fan. Also, the bright sky in left field, of course, is bothering some of the outfielders. The A's are complaining about their own hometown fans, saying they're not enthusiastic enough. And the Mets are complaining about their dumb bats yesterday when they hit those line drives and those hot shots right at somebody. The pitchers got away with mistakes yesterday because of the batter's inability to see very well at the plate, and we might have another low-scoring game today. We have 2 left-handers on the mound. Vida Blue will be going for Oakland, and Jerry Koosman, the hero of the Mets pitching staff in the 1969 World Series, is their man. Let's get over here now to Monty Moore, the broadcaster of the Oakland A's. Find out about Vida Blue. They say he hasn't still won a big one in his young career yet.
Well, Kurt, that's what is said, but actually he's won 20 games this year in comparison to 6 last year. He was a winning pitcher in an all-star game for the American League, the last all-star game the American League won. This ball club, the A's, is not hitting right now, and I'm sure the Met pitching has a lot to do with that. And as Dick Green said yesterday, I think, Kurt, he hit it right on the nose. Defense is going to be the difference in this series with this kind of pitching.
Now, he was the defensive man yesterday.
And a defensive mistake cost the Mets a run, and as a matter of fact, cost them the ball game. And we have a good look at that and the big plays of yesterday's 3rd inning of the game. In that 3rd inning, Kenny Holtzman, the Oakland A's pitcher, is the man who got the first hit to get it all started. Holtzman had not had an official at-bat all year since the designated hitter rule has come. He got Matlack at a 3-ball, 2-strike count, guessed fastball, got a fastball, and hit it down the line and left. And Kenny had to run hard, and he slid hard in the second base, cutting his knee right there, and he was out of the ball game very shortly thereafter. Here's the big play. Campaneris hit an outside fastball right through the legs of one of the most dependable fielding second basemen in baseball, Felix Millan, who made only 9 errors all year. Holtzman scored on the play, and that left Campaneris at first. They had him picked off, as you can see, but he never goes back when he's picked off, and he just kept going. The high throw to first base from Matlack allowed Campy to steal second base, and that brought up Joe Rudy, one of the A's best clutch hitters. He was looking for a pitch he could drive anywhere. It was an outside pitch. He drove it to right field, and Campanera scored from second base what proved to be the winning run of the ball game.
All right, that's the way it went yesterday. Rusty Staub, by the way, is going to be in the Met lineup today. He took batting practice. He still has a painful right shoulder. He says, I can do everything but swing and hit. And he says, that's what my profession is all about. But it's getting better each day. And now, before the game, Tony Kubek, our colleague, had a conversation with the New York Met manager, Yogi Berra. And let's see what they had to say.
Yogi, you're down one game in this World Series in 1973 to the Oakland A's, but you don't look worried.
No, I feel fine, Tony. That's only one game. You know, you still got to win 4 to win it.
What'd you think about this ballpark, the fans in this town, and, of course, the Oakland A's team? Learn anything new about them?
Well, Tony, we never played them, you know. My gosh, the only two I know, actually, is Camp Harris and Green. I was still playing when they were over there, and we don't know too much about their fit, and they don't know too much about ours.
How about Jerry Koosman today?
Well, we hope he's ready. He's had his 4 days rest, and he's a pretty good-minded pitcher.
Is Carmen all right?
Fine, good.
She called all the shots yet?
No, she's not calling.
Yogi, thank you. Good luck today's ballgame. I know you got a little trouble in ear infection and stuff. Is your team healthy?
Yeah, well, I'll try to stop. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Yogi Berra, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the commissioner's box directly behind the A's dugout, where Bob Hope will throw out the first ball.
Well, we've had right-hander Hope on the mound with a ceremonial first pitch. There are the A's taking the field. And the umpires assigned to today's game, Augie Donatelli will be behind the plate representing the National League. Jerry Newdecker of the American League at first base. Paul Pryor of the National League at second. Russ Getz of the American League at third. Harry Wendelstedt of the National League on the left field line. And Marty Springstead of the American League on the right field line. Vida Blue on the mound, and with left-handers Holtzman and Blue for the A's, Matlack and Koosman for the Mets, the starters in the first 2 games. This is the first time since 1963 that 4 left-handers have started in the first 2 contests. Sandy Koufax and Johnny Padre started for the Dodgers in the first 2 games of the '63 World Series. Whitey Ford and Al Downing for the Yankees. Right-handers will be going Tuesday night at Shea Stadium. Tom Seaver for the Mets and Jim Catfish Hunter for the Oakland A's. Tony, let's analyze Vida Blue.
Well, we saw him in that American League Championship Series against Baltimore. He gave a strong 6 innings. And, Monty, I know he had the kind of fastball he's had many times late in this year. He was outside and down at good velocity at times, and all of a sudden he tried to go to his breaking ball and slider, and he got hurt by the Echeverria home run. But he's become a pitcher.
Yes, he has. He's throwing a pitch this year that he himself calls a slurve. It's right between a slider and a curve.
And a slurve?
Yeah, and Vida said it's a slurve.
All right, we're going now to Game 2. Wayne Garrett stepping in for the New York Mets, and stepping in here for NBC to handle the play-by-play, the outstanding broadcaster of the Oakland A's, Mr. Monty Moore.
Thank you very much, Kurt, and hi again, everybody. Wayne Garrett, .256 hitter for the year. His brother Adrian played with the Oakland A's very shortly, a year or so back. Vida Blue starts him off and misses low and outside, ball 1.
Now, Monty, the Mets are waiting for this man to break out. He was their hottest hitter in September, but he hasn't hit in the playoffs in the first game of the series.
There's the Blue Blazer as Vida came back inside on him. He started him off low and away. Vida hit the outside corner at 2 strikes. Vida threw it right by him, strike 3. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited.
Here's the second baseman of the New York Mets, Felix Millan, and what a year he had. .290 batting average. Live ball one. That one just blows right on through. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. He doesn't give you much of a strike zone. Swinging late, he fouls it off.
The Mets are having trouble getting around on him the same way the Orioles did for 5 innings. The right-handers you saw swinging late. Garrett, that third strike blowing right by him. He's just as quick as he was against Baltimore the other day. But the thing is, now we'll see how long this lasts.
Strike! Called it, nailed the outside corner. Millan doesn't believe it, but he's gone.
Blue the other day, as quick as he was against Baltimore, struck out only 1 man. He's nailed the first 2 today.
He's had that outside corner. Look at this pitch.
Typical pitching pattern these young pitchers use on the Oakland A's staff. They like to go away. Ball was in the strike zone as far as height, but from the angle it was difficult to tell if it was outside or in.
Here's Rusty Staub, who did not play yesterday. Takes high for ball 1. Rusty had 3 hits in the playoffs. They were all 3 home runs, and all 3 off left-hand pitching.
He hits left-handers as well as he does right-handers.
Boy, he just threw that ball right by him, and this was going to be the interesting thing to me, Kurt, to see if Vida would challenge him inside here today because of that sore shoulder. He went right after him right then. Foul tipped it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know if you could see on that last swing that when Staub went into his follow-through, his right arm and hand came right off the bat. He's going to be swinging with that left shoulder and left hand, trying to come over the top on the ball and protect that right shoulder.
Got that bat ready. It's really up in the strike zone. You can see he ended up with 1-hand swing right then. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Let's watch the Staub swing once again in slow motion. Keep your eye on that right shoulder, hand and arm. There he drops it, a twinge of pain. He's had several shots in the shoulder.
Vida misses low. He's gone a 3 ball, 2 strike count.
I noticed during batting practice he was just trying to lay the bat on the ball and poke it to left field.
See where Fosse puts his hand. He put it over on the left leg. He wants it outside. Over the mound. Campaneris got a tough play, but he made it. And the Mets are out in the first inning. The score, the New York Mets nothing. The Oakland A's coming to bat.
Koosman had a strong second half of the year for the New York Mets. In the 1969 series, he started twice, and he won twice.
Koosman, like Blue, has become a pitcher just 2 years ago. He used to strike out about 1 batter per inning. Now he is a control pitcher, does not strike out as many, has 4 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. Depends what he has when he goes out to the mound as to which pitches he'll throw, the ones that are effective on this particular day.
From looking at his statistics, Kurt, he must have had an awfully tough luck year with an earned run average of 2.84 to win less games than he won. 14 wins and 15 losses. Here's Bert Campaneris. 1 strike to count. National League umpire Augie Donatelli behind the plate. They tell us that he gets close enough to the catcher at times, he puts his hand on him. Keeps that kind of contact. Campaneris taking a shot to right field on the Koosman fastball. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
Koosman's had all kinds of problems. In '68, he and 2 of his buddies were babysitting while their wives went to a Broadway show, and he burned his pitching hand with some hot popcorn butter, scalded it, nearly cost him his career.
Wow, he didn't get on top of that curveball at all. He really let it get away from him.
He wore bandages in that pitching hand for months. He thought he was through.
The Oakland A's are wearing a white uniform today. They call it their polar bear white, and they only wear them on Sunday. They have 3 uniforms. Bud Harrelson had a busy day yesterday. Gets Campaneris. 1 out.
I told Harrelson he was approaching the record for most chances yesterday in a 9-inning World Series game, and he didn't know it. I think he said he handled 15 chances in one game this year in a 14-inning game.
He was all over this place yesterday. Here's Joe Rudy, who drove in Oakland's winning run yesterday. For the season, Joe hit .270, and most of that was after the All-Star break. Fly ball to left field, hit pretty well, and it is lost in the sunshine.
There's that Sunfield again. That ball landed at the base of the fence. Should have been caught. Leon Jones lost the ball in a murderous Sunfield here in left field.
Jones completely losing the ball. He misjudged it at first. He went all the way back to the wall bracing. He thought it was hit more deeply than it really was. He did it in yesterday's ball game, but did make a catch at the last. There you saw him flare away from the ball with that sun flickering off his glasses. Rudy's on second base in scoring position.
The A's felt very strongly that their playing games against Baltimore in the daytime here were going to be a big factor for them because this is a tough Sunfield. Here's Sal Bando, the A's captain who drove in 98 runs this season. Drive right center field. There's nobody out there. It goes by high. Rudy scored. Bando going to third. He's in there with a triple. This crowd wasn't enthusiastic, but if they were listening right now, they couldn't hear anything within 10 miles of here except this. Reggie Jackson will bat now with a runner at third base and one out. Sal Bando hits a lot into right center field during the course of the year, and it was really a little surprising to see them playing him to pull that much. And he hit it right out there, Jackson. And they've got their infield in. Strike call, it's 1-1. And the Mets show that they really feel this is going to be a low-scoring game when they bring the infield in against Jackson this early in the game. There's a look from behind home plate on the third base side. See that infield right up in the face of Reggie Jackson.
This is a gamble.
Koosman just got away with hanging a curveball up above Reggie's head. Reggie foul-tipped the ball and is still alive at a ball and 2 strikes, and the ball came back and hit Brody somewhere.
Ever see it? Ever see an old catcher's hands and gnarled fingers?
Apparently he's all right. Let's look at it again. A ball that Koosman tried to sink in on the fists, I believe, of Reggie Jackson. He just topped it. Ow, right in the protective cup.
So Reggie Jackson is up with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. See if Koosman will challenge him here or try to waste one and get Reggie to chase a bad pitch. He went right after him on that pitch. He struck him out with a high hard one to the inside. Baltimore pitched Jackson up there a lot in the series. There was a big out because now it'll take a hit or an error, a wild pitch or something like that, but basically a hit to get that runner in from third base. Whereas Jackson could have done it with a fly ball. Gene Tennis comes up now for Oakland. He hit 24 home runs this year. Staying inside the Tennis, it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sal Bando at third. The A's lead 1-0 first inning. Missed inside. Looks like he threw a slider then on 3-2. That brings up Jesus Alou. Picked up on the same day in August as Vic Davalillo was from National League clubs by A's owner Charlie Finley to shore up a bench, and those 2 men have been of immeasurable help. Felipe Alou was the first of the Alou brothers to play with Oakland. He was here 2 years ago, and then last year Matty, and this year Jesus. Base hit down into the corner, and Bando scores. Gene Tennis rounding third, and he's going to be stopped. It is 2-0 Oakland. Jesus Alou ripped one right inside the bag.
What we've seen him in the playoffs yesterday and today, He is really swinging a groove bat right now. He's hot.
Jesus Salou, one of the best first ball hitters I know of. Anything around the place, he's at it. Let's look at Wayne Garrett again on the replay. He was playing not a deep third base, almost even with a bag. Ball it very sharply, driving in a run.
If the Mets left-hand pitchers continue throwing Oakland batters inside as they did yesterday, and right there, Garrett may be having to get a little closer to that foul line. Kenny Holtzman hit one right by him on the right side yesterday.
That's Ray Sadecki warming up now in the Met bullpen. The veteran Ray Sadecki.
Yogi Berra looks out of the Met dugout. Dick Williams studying the scene from the Oakland A's dugout. That's Bert Campaneris in the picture with Dick. Ray Fosse, who did an outstanding job for Oakland this year. We're coming to them in spring training in a trade with the Cleveland Indians. That's a ball. A hit here could pick up 2 more runs. The Met outfielders are playing deep for Fosse. They're going to walk him with Dick Green coming up. They're going to go ahead and walk Fosse and pitch to Dick Green.
The way Koosman's been pitching might be a little bit dangerous. He has not been getting ahead of the hitters in this inning.
Dick Green will come to the plate with the bases loaded, and in his major league career, Dick Green has hit 4 Grand Slam home runs. He had one this year to win a game against the California Angels.
He didn't have to get a hit yesterday. Played a brilliant defensive game for the A's.
Jackpot is loaded here for Dick Green of Rapid City, South Dakota. He looks at a letter-high fastball, strike 1.
Retired once, didn't he, Monty?
Yes, he did. He's retired once and threatened too many times. The Mets are not playing the batters percentage here necessarily because the hitters, as you look at the bases, which are full of Oakland A's, the 2 hitters, Fosse and Green, have about the same averages in RBIs. They just want to try to have a force play anywhere. Struck him out on a good hummer, up and in. And the Oakland A's scored 2 runs in the first inning on 3 hits and leave 3 on to score 2-0 Oakland.
There's the commissioner's box. Henry Aaron back again today, seated alongside Commissioner Kuhn. Right back of Henry Aaron's the sports director, vice president of sports, Carl Lindemann, with the dark glasses on, and Mrs. Kuhn watching the game. Buffalo beat Baltimore today in the NFL 31-13. The Jets 9, New England 7, Cincinnati 19, Pittsburgh 7. Atlanta finally coming through 46-6 over the Bears. The Redskins defeated the New York Giants 21-3. New Orleans 20, Detroit 13. All finals, Monty.
Here's Cleon Jones. And he hits the ball deep to right field. Jesus Salou is back, and he can't get it. That was right out of here. Cleon Jones hit one right down the line in right field with good power on it, and it's a 2-1 ball game. A high fastball to the outside, and all A's scouting reports have talked about his power the opposite way.
Jones is going to be a problem for the A's, evidently. Yesterday, he had a double and a single.
Here's John Milner. Ground ball hit sharply to Dick Green. And there's one away.
Monty, has Vida's pitching pattern this year been what we saw of him in that championship series? He had great stuff for 6 innings, and he came out in the, I guess it was the 6th, and he just lost it. Does he have his ups and downs that way?
No, as a matter of fact, he's been having very good staying power, Tony, and he has pitched a lot differently, though. He went after Baltimore those first 6 innings with almost exclusively fastballs, and a lot this year he has gone to the breaking ball, a lot more than ever before. But that day, he just went back and with everything he had through every pitch. Here's Jerry Grody. The looper out behind Dick Green. Turns around. He's in the right spot to watch it come down. He picks it off through 2 away. Vida finished the season by winning his last 5 regular season games, and in 4 of those 5 did not allow a run.
The Mets here in the 2nd are going after that first pitch. 3 batters in a row have swung at the first pitch.
Here's Don Hahn playing center field today. Vida hit him right on the fist, broke a bat. Gene Tennis will take it himself. So it's after Jones homered, 3 in a row go up and down, and the score is the Oakland A's 2, the New York Mets 1.
Well, we'll have Game 3 of the World Series Tuesday night at Shea Stadium. Tom Seaver against Jim Hunter. Wednesday night, Thursday if necessary, 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on NBC, the Baseball World with Joe Garagiola, and then the World Series game. Vida Blue getting a hand as he opens it up for the A's in the last of the second.
This will be Vida Blue's second at-bat of 1973. His lifetime average in the American League is .098. Strike call. Averages like that by pitchers. One reason the designated hitter rule was instituted. And with great success this year in the American League as far as livening up the offense. Strike 2 to Vida. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Vida down on a breaking ball. He got 3 looks at Koosman. And there's 1 away in inning number 2. Back to the top of the batting order for Bert Campaneris. Koosman now has struck out 3 Oakland A's, and the biggest strikeout he had was a survival strikeout, you might say. With the bases loaded, he got Dick Green to end the first inning. They play Campy tight at the corners. At third and first, they are both in on the grass. Ball 1. Campaneris bunts for base hits once in a while, and ordinarily it's the first base side when he does. He had a good cut at that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think his play yesterday of bunting the ball down the first base line and sliding under the first baseman, trying to put a tag on him 20 feet away from the bag and getting up and going on, was one of the most exciting plays of the day.
That bunt he beat out yesterday. He's now had a hit 5 playoff games in a row, the opening game of the World Series. A 6-game batting streak in World Series and playoff action.
It's a 2-1 game. Oakland is leading right here. Drive in a right center field. Rusty Staub is not going to be able to get to it. Watch Campaneris go. He can really motor. He's already around second. And he's in at third base standing up with a triple.
And you may have noticed on the play that Rusty Staub gave way to his center fielder, Don Hahn, to make the long throw to the cutoff man. Watch Bert again on this replay on the triple to right center field, and watch him cut the bases. Looking over his shoulder, not relying on a coach at all. That's what the great base runners do. They need no help.
He takes those little short, choppy steps.
I believe we're going to get action again in the Met bullpen. Ray Sadecki, warming up earlier, has just moved to the mound once more.
And once again, the Mets bring their infield in with 1 out and a strong hitter at the plate in Joe Rudy. Base hit right up the middle, and that's with the infield drawn in. A base hit, it would not have been otherwise. And the A's now have a chance to do some more damage. It is 3-1 Oakland on Joe Rudy's second base hit of the day.
There's an old saying in baseball, when you draw the infield in, a 300 hitter can become a 400 hitter. Those infielders don't have the time to range to their left or right. You slap a ground ball, it goes through.
Rudy's single sends Campaneris home with a 3rd Oakland run.
Bando, a product of that great baseball school, Arizona State University. They produced 4 of the Oakland A's. Reggie Jackson and Sal Bando and Rick Monday. There goes Rudy, and the pitch is missed. They ought to get him at second. Great throw by Grody to Millan as Bando missed on a hit-and-run play.
Watch Joe Rudy all alone on the 3-1 pitch. Bando may have given him a signal as he looks over his shoulder to make sure that Bando did not pop the ball up or hit it in foul territory. From another angle, Rudy coming in, being tagged by Felix Millan, and we told you we were going to see some good catching. We have so far in this series.
Gary Koosman just wraps a hard slider around Sal Bando at the knees, and the A's get 1 run in the second inning on 2 hits. Nobody left to score. 3-1 Oakland. Bud Harrelson, the Mets shortstop, against Vida Blue, and the first pitch from Vida in the third inning is outside for ball one. Harrelson chokes up on the bat, and it looks as if to make sure that he does that, he has a rubber donut up the handle a little ways. Vida missed inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Keeps that bat from sliding down, or his hands from sliding down in the bat.
Well, these players create ways to get a good grip. On deck, the Met pitcher, Koosman. Sadecki has come down into the Mets dugout with a jacket on. Whether they would pinch hit for Koosman here might depend upon what Harrelson does. Strike 3 called. Vida hit the outside corner with a fastball.
Monty Kurt, before the ballgame, we talked to A's catcher Ray Fosse, talking about the pitching style of Vida Blue. Let's listen.
Tony, Vida is a fastball pitcher. He's come up with a good breaking ball to go along with his fastball and changeup. So you can look mainly just to see the good smoke, the good fastball, and hopefully he can keep the ball down.
Now the Mets pitcher, Jerry Koosman. Bando cuts in front of Campaneris. With a lot of time, he throws him out. The only game that Oakland has played in the World Series in the last 2 years that was not decided by 1 run was game number 6 last year, and Cincinnati clobbered Oakland 8-1. Many felt that that game in Cincinnati would completely demoralize the A's, but they showed a great ability to come back as they did in game 5 of the playoffs last year, game 5 of the playoffs this year. Leadoff man Wayne Garrett takes a strike. Beyond on deck. And Vida Blue, very intense young man today before this game. There's his slurve. That's the pitch that he calls a slurve. It's between a slider and a curve, just a hard curveball is what it is, and that's the big thing they tried to get him to do, Tony.
This is the pitch that Johnny Sain, one of the top pitching coaches in baseball, teaches over in the American League. He calls it a fast curve. Breaks more than a slider, not as much as a curve, a little bit downward action.
Pitch outside. Vida's curveball that he threw last year was one that was just thrown too slow. It gave the batter too much time to adjust and hit it. So Wes Stock, the A's pitching coach, got him to increase the tempo a little bit. There's a long drive to right field. That was a hanging breaking ball, and it is way out of here. Garrett puts a run up on the board for the Mets with a long home run.
And Garrett finally broke out of it. He hit 16 home runs during the season. He's a real threat for an infielder. That's his first homer in the playoffs of World Series, and just his second RBI.
Let's watch Garrett swing once again. He appears to have opened up his stance a little bit more today than yesterday. That right foot off the ground timing the pitch, and he sure did hang it inside about belt high. He's not a big man, but he's got good, compact, powerful swing.
Pitchers try to make 2 good pitches in a row. You know, Vida didn't try to hang that ball in there. He had just made a super pitch and really made Garrett look pretty bad. Ball really carries down the line here at the Coliseum in day games, and what little wind there is blowing towards right, that needed no help at all. That would have gone out against the wind. Bando right near the bag at third. Goes the tennis, and that's all for the Mets here in the third. They got another run. And in the middle of the third inning, the score is the Oakland A's 3, the New York Mets 2.
With Reggie Jackson leading off for the A's, let's listen to his comments about his late season slump.
Well, Tony, you know, I haven't been hitting, and the thing you want to do if you're playing on a winning ball club is be a part of it. And if you're not hitting the ball that well, then you've got to either run the bases well or throw well or make a catch or do something to help the ball club.
Jerry Koosman just said hello, Reggie, with a duster right under his chin.
Reggie made that catch yesterday in the ball game that he mentioned. He was a little bit modest. It was a game-saving catch, I think, in left center field.
Reggie Jackson's sprinting catch robs Grody and halts the New York uprising.
He's hit 2 of the longest home runs I've ever seen. Tony and I saw him hit that 500-foot shot, Minneapolis, the top of the scoreboard, and then the home run up on the roof, the light girders in Detroit in the All-Star game. Two of the longest I've ever seen.
Harrelson playing him perfectly. He gets it right behind the bag at second and throws Reggie Jackson out. Reggie has, of course, the tape measure distance record for home runs here in this ballpark. The longest one he ever hit landed in the right field bleachers on the very top row. It was a night where that row was not filled, and it hit right on the seat, the back row of the bleachers. Here's Gene Tennis. Curve is high. There have been only 4 balls hit into the second deck at this ballpark, and Reggie Jackson has hit 2 of those. Dick Green one, and Bobby Darwin of Minnesota the other. Of course, Greens and Darwins went to left in the second deck. Slow curve drops in there. It's a strike called 1-1. That's the shot from left field to give you an idea of the haze, and it is a hazy day here. Ball 4. Gene Tennis, who led the A's in receiving bases on balls for the season with 101, has just walked for the second time today.
I had 10 Californians tell me today it's a haze, not a smog.
In Northern California, that's right. Northern Californians call it a haze. They call that one in Los Angeles the smog. The group of hills right behind this ballpark called the Oakland Hills, and ordinarily they're very, very visible, but today they're almost obliterated. Jesus Salou. Ordinarily, you could see the hills. You can see the houses up on the hills out there. Ordinarily, it's a beautiful sight from the ballpark. Today, it's just out of sight.
There he goes with that bat again.
He drops the bat behind him. He'll flip it sometimes and catch it.
What did he do one game in the championship series? He looked like he pulled a little flag out of his pocket and dusted the plate off to distract the pitcher.
Who do I think?
Yeah.
Base hit, right field. Rusty Staub with the ball, and he just flips it back in there, but he got it in a hurry.
And he charged that ball to be sure to take it on the first hop to save time with his sore shoulder. He normally might have let that ball come to him on the second hop.
Watch Salou in his batting style. He jumps on many pitches, and look at that left front foot as he kicks it in the strike zone. He's got a magic wand. They should nickname him Mandrake, I guess.
Well, the A's getting valuable help going to the other league last year for Matty Louis' brother. This year for Davalillo and for Jesus, picking up veteran players to help in the stretch and paying quite a bit of money for them.
Here's Ray Fosse. Check swing bouncer. Back to Koosman. They go to second, and a bad throw pulls him off the bag.
Gary Koosman never had complete possession of the ball. Pitchers wear bigger gloves so they can hide the ball from the hitters and those coaches. And many times they have trouble getting the ball out of the glove. Watch it again. Little chopper. He made a good pitch down low in the strikes, and watch him bobble it. Doesn't have possession. The ball moves away from Mian, and now they're in trouble. Here it is again.
That's like a basketball player, Tony, trying to shoot without really good control of the ball.
Curtis Felix may have saved a run on that play. Had that ball gone into center field, it could have been first and third or second and third and another run home.
See what Berra's going to do now. He's bringing Sadecki on. That's all for Koosman. I think Berra also had the thinking that that wide throw might upset Koosman. So we have a break in the action here at Oakland. The score in the last of the third is Oakland 3, New York 2.
But you have a bowl of that one? There you go. You look like you just lobbed that ball. Didn't you? Go for 2.
2 and 4 fastballs, 1 2 3's a change. That's our combo.
Ray, you get the ball now home. You hear?
Yeah, I'm going to
Go
you.
for 2.
Rest
Yeah,
you're
go
coming
home.
back to me. I'm trying to hurry it now. Got the pitch.
Red.
Yeah, make sure.
John.
Sadecki pitching to Dick Green for the second time in the game. Green is batting with the bases loaded. Sadecki's slow curveball is inside. Sadecki is pitching in his third World Series game. He started twice for St. Louis in the 1964 series, winning one of those games. This year for the Mets, he won 5 and lost 4, had 1 save. He appeared in 31 games. Mets have their corners first and third base in. Rest of the infield's back in double play depth. Threw that one by him. Had him pretty well set up with the fastball. He had thrown a slow curve inside, missing. Ball 1.
The Mets have Harry Parker now warming up in their bullpen, Monty, a right-hander. Harry Parker.
They're at the bottom part of the A's batting order, so this is a big out right here. If he can get Dick Green without a run scoring, he'll pitch to Vida Blue. Squeeze play is on, and Green misses the bunt on a curve, and Tennis is hung up. Garrett walked the ball. Now the other runners are able to move up to second and third base.
John Milner made the tag. Came in from first, Milner.
And if not for the dropping of the ball, there would have been just 1 minute scoring position. Let's watch it again. A breaking ball down and in that Green could not get his bat on. Tennis hung up. Now watch this. Just by dropping the ball here at third base, Wayne Garrett allows Alou to go into third. Fossey to go into second. He did his job staying in a rundown long enough to advance those runners.
And now Yogi's got a decision to make whether to pitch to Dick Green with a 1-2 count or walk him and pitch to Vida Blue for that third out.
The A's have had a hit-and-run backfire on them and now a squeeze backfire. 2 men have been cut down.
He's going to pitch to him. Carefully, I hope.
Got a count of 1-2 on him. Ooh, strike 3 call. Dick Green is out on a curveball. I'm not sure whether they call it a swing or a take, but anyway, he's out. So in the third inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left, and the score after 3 innings is 3-2 Oakland.
Dick Green misses the bunt on a suicide squeeze attempt. Gene Tennis is hung up, and Oakland's hopes of breaking the game wide open fail to materialize.
Top half of the 4th inning coming up, and Kurt, that could very well have been a big turnaround inning for the New York Mets to survive a crisis like that.
They've only had 2 hits, but 2 home runs. They were faced with that bases-loaded situation, 1 out. The squeeze backfired, so the Mets stay close. Very big defensive inning for them.
Rusty Staub will lead off against Vida Blue. Fastball too high.
You know, he's been around, Staub, at Houston and Montreal with the Mets. This is his first playoff and first World Series. Said he feels like a young kid here. He's so thrilled to be participating finally in postseason.
Fly ball to left field. Joe Rudy is chasing it down, and he has sunshade zeroed in. He's looking away from the sun a little bit there, but it still was a glare.
I don't know if you could see him hold up right at the second and not get completely under it. He wanted to retain that angle, looking away from the sun. So he timed the catch. Watch him again and see if we can pick it up. The sun glaring in his glasses. Now he wants to stay at that angle and not face directly into the sun. There he goes after it. What a battle.
Don't you remember the difficulty Norm Seaburn had in left field on the club you played in the World Series?
Oh, I sure do.
You think this left field is worse than Yankee Stadium?
Never played this left field. If this is worse, it's awful.
Leon Jones, who hit a home run off Vida down the right field line his first time up, gets a fastball up and in on him that time, and he missed it.
You don't have the shadows here if you had a Yankee Stadium.
Driving to left center, Reggie Jackson over and in and traps the ball. Jones will hold up at first base. Jackson playing pretty deep, and that ball was sinking going into center field.
Look at it again. Jackson circling around the ball a little bit. I don't think there's a sun problem in center field, although he has his glasses down. Now from another angle, Jackson, who played his first game this year in center field yesterday, battling it, preventing it from getting by him by staying in front. And Jones has got a pretty hot bat. This Mets team looks aggressive with the bats, Monty.
They must have been aggressive for the past month. And the A's are not that surprised. Here is Milner, their leading home run man for the year with 23. Drive to right field, Jesus Alou. Right there. Puts it away, and they're 2 out. You know, the Mets hit the ball hard all day yesterday, Kurt, and didn't get much for it. Today, they're hitting it hard again.
Bill Rigney had a good expression. They had dumb bats.
Yeah.
Hit the ball right at somebody. But they're making contact, both clubs today, better than they did yesterday.
Jerry Grody, who just missed a 2-run home run yesterday. He pulled that one. Bando can't come up with the ball. No play A short hopper to Sal Bando going to his left.
Watch Sal again, usually very reliable on balls such as this. Hits a short hop, which is not a difficult hop to catch. Couldn't smother it, though, and the ball bounds away.
This is the first real bad fielding play the A's have made.
Here's Don Hahn, the center fielder, with 2 runners on. Drive to right field. Jesus Salou has got it. And another Met line drive is caught. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left in the score in the middle of the 4th inning, 3-2 Oakland.
Leading off for Oakland, pitcher Vida Blue.
Ralph Kiner along with Jim Simpson from Oakland, California. The A's batting here in the bottom of the 4th inning, leading by a score of 3-2, and the first batter for the A's will be Vida Blue. Next pitch is a fastball. It's swung on and missed, and Blue has struck out for the 2nd time. Hideki now has pitched to 2 batters and struck them out. And with 1 away, the batter coming up will be Campy Campaneris, who has tripled and 2 times up. 2-2, and Hideki back to the right-hand batter. There's a swing and a miss, and strike 3, and Hideki has pitched to 3 batters and struck them all out. 7th batter to strike out in the ballgame. That brings up Joe Rudy. He has 2 hits and 2 times up. A double in the 1st inning and a single in the 2nd. And the first pitch to the right-hand batter. Fastball topped out in front of the mound. Coming up is Hideki to field it. He fields the ball, throws to first base in time for the out. So the first 1, 2, 3 inning by a Met pitcher in this ball game, and the score at the end of 4, it's the Oakland A's 3, the New York Mets 2. Bud Harrelson has struck out in his 1 appearance. He was called out on the 3-2 fastball by Vida Blue. Blue has struck out 3 in the ball game. And the left-hander with his first pitch is hit out to center field. Reggie Jackson moving up, now moving back a step or 2 and making the catch. 1 away, and Ray Hideki is being called back. And George Theodore, who has made only 1 batting appearance in the last half of the season, is going to be the pinch hitter in the ball game. Pitcher record on the losing side, Gary Koosman, the starting pitcher for the New York Mets. He went 2 1/3 innings, gave up all 3 runs. There's a bouncing ball through the middle, coming over Campaneris to field it and back at second. And the throw on the first base is in time for the out. Good range by Campy Campaneris, a fine defensive ball player for the Oakland A's. That will bring up Wayne Garrett. Wayne homered his last time up. Next pitch is low and outside, and Garrett walked. That's the first walk given up by Vida Blue, and the Mets have the tying run at first, but 2 men away. And the batter coming up is Felix Millan. And the pitch. It is grounded out to deep short. Campaneris fields it, throws the second in time as Green covers there, and the side is retired on the 4th play. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and 1 man left. And the score after 4.5 innings, the A's 3, the Mets 2. We have a pitching change as Harry Parker comes in the ballgame. And now here for the play-by-play, Jim Simpson.
Thank you, Ralph Kiner. Parker, in 38 games during the regular season, used sparingly at the beginning in 9 starts as a starter. 1-8, lost 4. 3.34 his earned run average, had 5 saves. Ball is popped up straight in the air, foul territory. Garrett's over, shielding his eyes against that sun, glasses down, has it for the first out of the Oakland 5th. Bando pops out to Wayne Garrett in foul territory at third base. And that'll bring up Reggie Jackson. Parker ready and throws again, and a drive toward right field. On comes Staub, and it's bouncing off his chest. It's a clean single as he tried to short hop it. The ball bounced up and off Staub, but was kept in front of him, and so Jackson, who has speed, could not go for second. Parker gives up his first hit. That's the 7th hit for the A's, and brings up Kenneth. Kenneth swings, grounds it towards Garrett at third. Garrett goes to Leon at second. Leon back to first base. Quick double play. And that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left. We've gone through 5 full innings. The A's lead the Mets 3-2.
We're going now into the 6th inning of the Oakland Coliseum. Staub, Jones, and Milner for the New York Mets. Staub is grounded out, fly to left. Vida Blue's gone all the way, and Rusty fouls it back. There's been a statement released to the press here. Charlie Finley, the owner of the A's, and the commissioner of baseball, Bowie Kuhn, were in a dispute over the eligibility of the A's squad. They're playing this World Series, that's strike 2, for 24 men. They had a big argument, and evidently Finley has written, or the commissioner has written a letter to Charlie Finley saying that after the World Series, disciplinary action will be taken. Commissioner Kuhn sided with the Mets on the eligibility of a 25th man. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The A's argued over a rain out here last Monday. That Joe Cronin called the game too early. It rained all afternoon. That's strike 3 on the fastball. Stop is out. And Charlie Finley, by the way, if you don't know it, we've announced it several times, is recovering from a heart attack. He's the man with a green jacket. He's not naturally as active as he was last year. He was a one-man show here, put on a great show with his rooting contingent, but he's fortunate to be here in the health he is and making his way around. 1 out, nobody on. Cleon Jones swinging the hot bat in this game. A home run to the opposite field and a single to center. He's had 4 hits in the 2 games. There's a strike to him. Vida Blue will serve up another 3-2 pitch. Jones has played to the opposite field and deep. He has power to right. And Vida Blue lost him. That's the second walk given up by Blue. That puts Cleon Jones at first. 1 out. John Miller up, is grounded out, flied out. And we're going to have action again in the Oakland bullpen. Darrell Knowles, the little left-hander. Horacio Pena, the right-hander. There's a fly ball in the right center. That ball dropping in for a base hit. Coming on to third is Jones. He's in, and the Mets have runners on first and third, 1 out. As Miller dumps one into right center. Now the Oakland fans starting to buzz in the stands. Their team is a 1-run lead, but the Mets have mounted a threat in the 6th inning. And here is Dick Williams now moving to the mound. You have Pena, the right-hander, Knowles, the left-hander in the Oakland bullpen.
That's something just about the time you say it looks like a pitcher's starting to get his stuff. What happens? It's called putting your foot in your mouth, isn't it?
Well, the thing about Vida is he can be throwing awfully hard, Tony, and it's just a matter of getting in the strike zone. He was a little wild this inning, and his trouble started with a walk the other day against Baltimore in the game where he had the 4-0 lead. He was leading 4-0, and Earl Williams was up. He walked Earl Williams, and next guy gets a hit, and here goes Vida, and in comes Pena.
Vida Blue gets a hand as it goes out, and the right-hander, Horacio Pena, comes on. And while we have the change of pitchers here, we'll tell you the score is Oakland 3 and New York 2. Horacio Pena, 28 years old, born, lives in Mexico. 6 wins, 3 losses. His earned run average impressive, 2.76. What about him, Monty Moore? You watched him all year.
He throws a natural sinker off that sidearm delivery, and that is his big pitch. He does have a very big breaking curveball. Here is, in slow motion, his underarm delivery. He'll turn that ball over with real good speed.
Almost submarine, not quite.
You can see his right wrist roll over there. That's his natural pitch. He also throws a crazy-looking changeup, but I don't think you'll see him throw it with 2 men on base here. He wants the sinker down. He'd like to get the double play. And there's John Odom joining Darrell Knowles out in the Oakland bullpen.
All right, this is Pena's first World Series appearance. And he's facing Jerry Grody. The catcher of the Mets has popped up, reached in an error by third baseman Sal Bando. The A's are ahead 3-2. The Mets are threatening now. And he's hit by a pitch ball to load the bases. Grody's hit on the left arm.
He was hit earlier this year on the hand and had a fracture.
Didn't look like he picked that pitch up at all. He hardly moved, and it was in on him in a hurry.
Now let's see where he hit him. On the forearm.
Left wrist, left forearm. I think he was just trying to take a look. Take one pitch off Pena to see his delivery and follow the ball, and he didn't move at all.
Same spot as the other one.
Where you broke it?
I don't know. Well, you didn't break it this time. You knew
No,
right
I'm
away.
saying the same spot where you broke it.
Well, I don't know. Let's see your grip. I don't have any grip right now.
Just let it go right now. I'll come back in the dugout later, all right?
Look at it again. Pena coming from down under, as Monty Moore just told you. Grody going into his stride, stepping into it with that shoulder just a little bit. Hardly moved.
He hardly had time. That ball really gets moving when he throws it like that at times, and it's in on you before you have a chance to do anything.
Starts in the inside part of the strike zone. It bored in on him about, looks like 2 feet. Got him.
He's all right. He's going to stay in. He'll feel worse tomorrow, though, in that arm. They'll get some ice on it after the game. Keep the swelling down. And now it's Don Hahn up with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Right now he's showing the home plate umpire, Augie Donatelli, where the ball hit him.
That's one time they didn't point to the shoe polish. Bases loaded. The A's bring the infield in. 1 out for the Mets. Hahn is grounded out, line to right. Hahn hits a little roller. This will be a tough play. They can't make it. The game's tied. Bando couldn't get to it. Pena ran right by the ball. And it's a tie game. This is Jones.
Let's look at it again. A little topper. Pena was pitching from the stretch. Bando had just one chance to barehand it. Here it is again. Let's watch Sal. Dick Williams came out right after the completion of this play and said to Sal, did you touch that ball or not? If you did not, it is a foul ball. Bando said to him, we have no argument. I touched the ball. It's a fair ball.
You can see it very obviously there in the replay. It's skidded out of his hands. Don Hahn is given a base hit and an RBI. The Mets still have the bases loaded, 1 down. They tied the game at 3-all. And Bud Harrelson's the batter. He struck out, flied out. And the A's have the infield in once more. And he's got a base hit into right field. Coming in to score is Milner. Grody is held at third. And the Mets take the lead for the first time, 4-3. Harrelson spikes the single to right, scoring Milner. Both those runs are charged to Vida Blue. And the Mets still have the bases loaded. And now Harry Parker is being called back. The Mets have their ace warming up, McGraw. Barrow wants more runs. So Parker's coming back. And let's see who comes out now.
He has Hodges, left-handed, Cranepool, left-handed, Boswell, but he does not want to waste his best left-handed pinch hitter because he does have a 1-run lead.
But Cranepool's getting a bat.
Right, that's it.
All right, Ed Cranepool will come up to bat for Harry Parker. So that leaves the Mets with Hodges and Boswell, left-handed pinch hitters. Dyer, Beecham, Mays, and Martinez is right-handed pinch hitter. Cranepool, .239 batter this year, with 1 homer, 35 RBIs.
See now if Williams makes the move. Yes, he is. As soon as that hitter Cranepool was announced, put officially in the ballgame, Williams is coming out. He's signaling for Knowles. Now we may see who? Willie Mays?
Well, we could. They have Beecham. They have Dyer. The wheels are turning, and another break in the action here at Oakland with a score. The New York Mets 4 and the Oakland A's 3. All right, the Mets now have switched. They Derek Cranepool, he's out of the game. He was announced as a pinch hitter. He's now being removed. Cranepool was hitting for the pitcher, Parker, and now Jim Beecham is going to bat for Cranepool to get the right-hander in. The bases are loaded, 1 out. The Mets have scored 2 runs, and they have the lead. Now watch for some kind of trickery here on a pickoff somewhere. There's a foul ball back. The A's like to pull trick plays. They could put a count on with Tennis sneaking in behind at first base, or the count and Knowles whirling and trying to pick off at second. Maybe they won't do it, but you have to be alert.
The Mets have 2 different coaches have worn Hahn at second base. They've had a scout following the A's, D. Fondy, for about a month and a half, and he's seen it.
Knowles came in yesterday. There's a bouncing ball to the box. Threw it away! He threw it away! 1 run is in, and another run scores. He had the double play. He lost his footing. He let the ball go without the proper footing or balance and threw it away. A perfect double play ball to him.
Curtis, the excitement of World Series play. Knowles trying to make the play quicker than he had to. He had a sure, easy double play home to first base. His cleats got tangled up. He toppled over and threw it wildly.
And the Mets have come up with 4 runs in the 6th inning. Here it is.
Look at it again. Hot smash off the bat of Jim. Beats him right to Knowles. Fosse will get ready for the play at the plate. There he goes, losing his footing, tripping, throwing wildly. And the Mets may just have broken the ball game wide open.
Knowles' wild throw allows Grote and Hahn to score. And the Mets have a 3-run margin for relief ace Tug McGraw to work with.
What a costly error that was. 2 runs in, moving on to 2nd and 3rd. There's a drive down the left field line. That's twisting foul into the A's bullpen. The batter's Wayne Garrett, who likes to hit that first pitch. And now you have Harrelson over at 3rd. Beecham went all the way to 2nd on the wild throw. And he had wrapped into what looked like almost certainly the inning-ending double play. Outside. Yesterday they blew the ball game in an error. And today the A's are making the costly mistakes. Change up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They still have only 1 out. Oh, they're in a great shape right now to do something. And Garrett looks at that fastball on the outside corner. Struck him out, and a big out for Darrell Knowles and the A's. Felix Millan has struck out, grounded out, hit into a force play. Rusty Staub is on deck, the left-hander. 2 balls and no strikes. Check swing for ball 3. 3-0.
I saw Fosse point to first base as this pitching series started, and now he's going to go ahead and walk him. He had told Darrell, I think, use your head now. Don't throw a tough pitch here to him.
They're letting Staub come onto the plate. The injured Rusty Staub. The Mets have batted around in the 6th inning. Staub is now the 10th man up. He's grounded out, flied out, and struck out. 2-2. Bases loaded. And he hits a fly ball into right center. Over for it, and making the grab is Reggie Jackson to retire the side. 4 runs in, though, and the Mets lead now 6-3.
Now, in the bottom of the 6th, Tug McGraw retired the side, while in the top of the 7th, his counterpart, Darrell Knowles, worked his way out of a 1st and 3rd jam. Now, let's rejoin the action in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out, and the A's trying to come back from a 6-3 deficit.
Bert Campaneris has tripled in 3 times. We're at the top of the A's batting order. They shorten up at 1st and 3rd, and McGraw slips the strike across. Mets leading 6-3. Strike 2, 0-2. John Odom will warm up again in the A's bullpen. Oh, hit out. There goes his helmet. He's hit on the head to the back of the neck.
You may see it again on the replay. That's Joe Romo, the A's trainer. It appeared that the ball hit the helmet. The helmet had not yet fallen off Bert's head.
How many times have you and I seen players saved from serious injury by the batting helmets now?
I couldn't count them, Curtis. I know Monty has too many times. It appears to be shook up. Williams wants to make sure. No ball, 2 strike count. Bert trying to get his left arm in the way of his head, and Monty, I don't know for sure, but I think that helmet had flipped off his head and caught him a grazing blow on the side. Here's the pitch, a fastball from McGraw. He throws inside on occasion, right off the top of the helmet, fortunately.
It hit his helmet. He's on first. Hit by the pitch ball, 1 out, and Joe Rudy up has doubled, singled, bounced to the pitcher. Rudy's driven in a run. Crowd yelling, go, 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 but the A's can't afford to be gambling here. 3 runs back. Unless Campaneris just thinks he's got a lock at stealing a base. Ball 1 to Joe Rudy. A check swing by Rudy. It's ball 2, 2-0. 3-0. Look how deep the outfield's going to be playing Rudy. They're just 3 or 4 steps in front of the warning path, Monty.
Baltimore had the same kind of setup against Oakland. They had their outfielders very, very deep against several of the players, including Campaneris.
They don't want a ball to get over them now. They'd rather have one drop in front of them.
George Stone now starting to throw for the Mets.
Ball 4. Williams hopes his man can come through. Campaneris at second, Rudy at first, 1 out. Man to the batter. A triple and 3 times up today. Ball 1 by Tug McGraw. I think he's trying to turn that ball over on him, and his screwball's not working right for him. 1 ball, no strike. He likes to feed the right-hander that screwball, breaking away. They'll try and pull it. They slap it on the ground. Campaneris dancing around in the background. There it is. Pull him on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just missed blowing away again. 2 balls and a strike. Lando fouls it back, and our count goes to 2-2. Campaneris going. He steals third. Campaneris stole third. Lando was called out as Campaneris stole third. Well, that's the second out. There's Campaneris on third. That's his second stolen base of the series. Reggie Jackson has struck out, grounded out, and singled. Campaneris stole 3 bases in the playoffs against Baltimore, and 2 now in the World Series against the Mets. Jackson, 1 out of 3. 2 out, runners on first and third, and the A's are trailing by 3. And he hits it in the right center. Campaneris scores. Rudy's going to third, and headlong into second is Jackson. He evidently is coming out of his slump, and we now have a 6-4 game. Mets are ahead.
Number 9, Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson's double scores Campaneris. The McGraw fans tennis, and the Mets are just 3 outs away from victory.
With runners at second and third, Gene Tennis struck out to end the inning, but Reggie's double brought the A's within 2. Hey, in the top of the 8th, Blue Moon Odom entered the game and retired the Mets in order. Tug McGraw followed with his own 1-2-3 inning. Now, when we come back, we'll see if the Mets could add to their 6-4 lead in the 9th.
Rusty Staub, the batter. Staub has a base hit to center. He's recovering. Leon Jones has been on base 3 times. He homered to right field in the second. Here's Staub's swing. He's still favoring that arm. Now, he didn't take that really big swing of his. Willie Mays has gone in a run at first base for Staub. A pop-up by Cleon Jones. Backpedaling is Gene Tennis. The foul ball, and he has it, and there's 1 out. You Oakland fans looking to the last of the 9th. Odom, the pitcher, scheduled to lead off. Then to the top of the order, Campaneris and Rudy. John Milner is grounded out, flied out, singled, and walked. That ball's hit into right field. Willie Mays stumbles. Mays stumbling going into second, couldn't make the turn to come to third. He lost his footing as he was approaching second base.
Boy, here's an unusual thing. One of baseball's all-time greatest base runners had an easy shot going first to third, and right there he was on the wrong step going around the bag. That's what caused it. He saw that he was off stride to hit the bag, and Willie fell down.
There's a pop foul. That was fair. The infield fly rule would be called. Bando squeezes it for the second out. And Don Hahn, the center fielder, will be up. There's a bounding ball at the Campaneris. He makes the play to first to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. Last of the ninth coming up, 6-4 New York. That defensive change for the Mets sends Willie Mays to right field in place of Rusty Staub. Willie Mays, his 22nd and last year of the National League. Started yesterday's game, now winds up in the last of the ninth inning today in right field. Now, wait a minute, they moved Willie to center field. I was wondering about that. Hahn went to center. I thought Mays would play center, and he went over to right field. Now they switched him. I don't know whether Yogi sent him out that way or changed his mind. So Mays goes to center, and Hahn over to right. And Darren Johnson is batting for John Odom in the last of the ninth inning. The Oakland A's are 2 runs behind. They have Bert Campaneris on deck and then Joe Rudy. There's a smash in the left center. Willie Mays over, and it gets by him. He lost his footing again. Darren Johnson's in the second. Willie Mays stumbling again as he did on the bases. He can't seem to get his coordination together today with his feet.
Boy, Kurt, this is the thing that I think all sports fans in all areas hate to see, is a great one playing in his last years having this kind of trouble, standing up and falling down, that kind of thing. We'll have a pinch runner now. The Panamanian Express, Alan Lewis, goes in to run for Darren Johnson.
I think the sun bothered Willie. 10 years ago, he would have put that ball in his hip pocket.
Underhanded.
With blindfolds on him.
Right.
And a handkerchief.
Willie Mays takes over in center. Don Hahn moves to right, as Rusty Staub's ailing shoulder is too big a risk in a close game. Darren Johnson's pinch hit shows that even the best can be done in by that old devil's son.
They have scored a double for Darren Johnson. He's replaced by Alan Lewis. Now Barrett has to be worried. The A's have the top of the order up, and the batter Campaneris is the tying run. Alan Lewis, a pinch runner at second. Campaneris looks at ball 1. They're not looking for any bunt, but they're looking for Campy to slap the ball, and they're playing tight at first and third. Ball 2. 2-0 to Campaneris.
Boy, this is the man the Mets really want to keep off the bases, and as he guards the third base foul line, they can't allow any kind of an extra base hit here.
Miller is playing the same way over at first. Campaneris has tripled today in 3 times. Strike to Campaneris, 2-1. George Stone, a left-hander. Charlie Finley and American League President Joe Cronin chatting. Dick Williams. Strike 2. McGraw comes right in with it. 2-2 to Bert Campaneris. 3-2. Joe Rudy will be up next. Good shot of that sunshine, and then the ball spinning into the shadows. 3-2 delivery. Took him out. A high pitch, and he got away with it. So Tuck McGraw has struck out his 4th batter in 3 1/3 innings of relief.
You can see, Kurt, how hard it is to walk Campaneris. This looked like ball 4, possibly.
You have to have some flair to be a great reliever. McGraw has that flair. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, good stuff helps, too. He hits it to third. Dropped by Garrett. Up. He still has time, and he's got him. Garrett kept his presence. He was looking to second to see what Lewis was going to do. Knocked it down. Kept his cool and still made the play.
He's right on that foul line, too, Kurt. There's a ball that might have been tough for him if he's off the line. He just took his eyes off the ball, you could see, to see what Lewis was going to do. But he had it in front of him. It was no tough play at all.
All right, the A's are down to their last out. Dick Williams doesn't like it. Sal Bando has tripled in 4 times. There's a runner at second. 2 down. The A's are 2 runs behind. George Stone continues to nonchalantly warm up in the Met bullpen in case it would be needed. A ball to Bando. Foul ball, 1-1. There's his screwball. I mean, he's really got these A's tied up with that pitch. He's missed with some of them. Tom Seaver, John Matlack, alongside of Berra, starting to get a happy look on their faces. The 1-2 pitch, 2-2 to Bando. Foul back. Didn't miss by much inside. 3-2. Pitch. All 4, and the A's have the tying runs on. The batter is Reggie Jackson. Across to Bill Smith. All right, now Jackson, after striking out and grounding out, singled to right in the 5th and doubled to right in the 7th. He doubled off McGraw. And they're waving. Let's see who they're trying to bring in. They're waving the right fielder on.
They're trying to move Willie Mays over a little bit, maybe. Yeah, Willie was playing him straight up. They're trying to move Mays over in center field into right center.
Reggie Jackson up. The tying runs on for the A's. 2 down, last of the 9th inning. Breaking delivery over for a strike. Charlie Finley. Jackson 2 out of 4. Hitless yesterday. And remember, he has real power. 32 homers this year. We haven't seen that power in the playoffs of the World Series yet. 1 strike. He hits a ground ball in the right field. Lewis is scoring. Over to third is Bando. And it's now 6-5, New York. And the A's have the tying run at third, the winning run at first, as Jackson delivers his 3rd hit in a row.
Well, that's a look at the crowd that has gotten used to seeing the A's play tight ball games. And now Gene Tennis, the hero of last year for the A's in the World Series, is going to come up for another shot at it. McGraw struck him out in the 7th inning, and he did it by starting him off with 2 fastballs. Then he threw 2 screwballs, missing with 1, getting the other one over. Now, if you're Gene Tennis, what are you going to be guessing here?
Well, I know Tennis was the hero of the series last year. This year, the Mets have checked him. He's walked twice, hit into a double play, and struck out today. And he hits it into left field. The A's have tied the game. The A's tie it up and have a chance to win it now. Tennis drilled a hard line drive. And look at those banners going behind the A's dugout. And the crowd on its feet roaring here in the Oakland Coliseum. They didn't make much noise here in Oakland. All right, Jesus Allou's up. Allou to the box. We're going to extra innings. Allou bounces out on the first pitch. The A's tied it in the 9th. They had 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. They left 2. At the end of 9, a game 6-6.
When Reggie Jackson signals Johnson home, Tug McGraw needs 1 more out. With runners at first and third, he faces the hero of the 1972 series, Gene Tennis.
Fingers. The roar for Reggie Jackson out in center. Jackson getting a standing ovation out there from the fans. He acknowledges it. 3 hits in a row today off left-handed pitching. They're going out his first 2 times up. Dick Williams is going over the lineup cards now with the umpire, Augie Donatelli. And Raleigh Fingers, who yesterday went 3 2/3 innings. Yogi Berra saw his club blow that lead in the 9th. 3 1/3 yesterday for Raleigh Fingers. The Mets will have Bud Harrelson leading off. There's a shot by Campaneris in the center field. Bud Harrelson's on to start the 10th. Just to the left of Campy. Now McGraw is coming out. And everybody in the park's looking for him to bunt. Goes Tennis. It's pushed to the box. Fingers throws to second. Safe. Back to first. Out. But Harrelson safe at second. And the Mets now have the go-ahead run at second base. Fingers gambled. And he was late at second base.
Here comes Bando in, but they bunt the ball away from Bando. Fingers picked it up. Made a good throw. Just out of our picture where Campaneris' foot was on that angle, but you can see that his relay to first did nail the runner there for 1 out.
Top of the order up now. Wayne Garrett. Downing ball to first base. Bad hop. Tennis flips to Fingers. Safe! Fingers off the bag. Fingers was not on the bag. The ball nearly hopped over Tennis's head on a bad hop. Fingers came over on a high throw. His feet were not on the bag.
Here it is again. You'll see it take a terrible hop over Gene Tennis, and he made a fine play just getting to it. Well, looks like it might have hit the bag.
Might have hit the front of the bag.
Fine play by Tennis right here, but now he's got to toss it to Fingers. And his foot is off the bag as he went up to catch it.
I'd like to see the finish of that. Neon now has gone hitless in 4 times. The A's have the infield drawn in. With 1 out, runners on first and third. Ball, look out. Boy, coming up was Harrelson.
Somebody missed a sign.
They missed a sign, and I thought Fosse had a chance to pick him off. Harrelson was really coming up, and it appeared as if they had the squeeze on, but not the suicide squeeze. Now Bando and Mike Andrews, the second baseman, he wants to counsel him. Bando looks to the A's dugout to get a sign. How do you want to play? That's the signals they use. Monty can explain that to you.
Right, the A's have a series of signs, and Bando always flicks them, and he'll use his shirt or his head. On the coverage plays, they use their shirt. And on trick plays, Bando uses his head, his ears, nose, mouth.
1 ball, no strikes to Felix Neon. Runners on first and third for the Mets. There's a smash foul down the right field line. Wayne Garrett going back to first, and Bud Harrelson to third. Ball 2, strike 1. 2-1. 2 runners again. Mays intently watching from the on-deck circle. This is a 2-1 pitch coming up. It's a high fly into left field. Not too deep. Rudy's there. Tagging is Harrelson. Will he gamble? He's coming. Here's the throw. And he is out at home plate. He's out. Willie Mays. Rushing up. Yogi Berra arguing. The Mets have gone wild on the double play. Joe Rudy throws out Bud Harrelson. Willie Mays arguing. Monty.
Here it is. Harrelson was going to go all the way. The throw from Rudy, who is a fine thrower, got to Fosse. The question is, did Fosse tag him? He's got it in plenty of time to tag him. He might have missed him right there. You can't tell with this angle, but he definitely had a shot at him.
Let's look at this angle now. Rudy lets it go. A great throw by Rudy. Coming in. Fosse has it now, reaches for it, but it appears that he missed him.
Hey, look at the position of the umpire here, Kurt. He's lying down on the ground. Look at this. He really wants to get a look at it.
Look at Willie Mays saying, no! Right down there with the umpire.
You missed the damn thing.
You can't kick me out for your head.
You know you did. What are you expecting him to slide? It's a damn joke.
Come up, straight up with the glove.
And where did he touch you? Where did he touch you?
Now let's go.
Where did he touch you?
Right here on the...
Here comes the replay in slow motion with stop action frames, and you can make your own call. Not even elder statesman Mays can change the verdict.
All right, I want to see what you fans think of this play. This will be discussed all night tonight. Here's Bud Harrelson coming in on the fly ball to shallow left. Rudy's making his throw now to the plate to Fosse. And it appears to us on this rerun that he is not tagged. Fosse reaching out on that rerun from that angle definitely looked like he missed him. But here's the last of the 10th. Ray Fosse's up, and the first pitch is strike. Well, we showed you that rerun. They'll be rerunning that 100 times tonight around America. News shows on NBC. Strike. 1 ball, 1 to Fosse, who's hitless in 3 times. So that was a double play. And the game is tied 6-6 in the last of the 10th. The screwball by Tug McGraw has Fosse fooled. Struck him out on the fastball. McGraw, you know, he gives you this, gives you that. He didn't suddenly pop that fastball in. 1 out in the last of the 10th inning for the Oakland A's. The late Tudor's in. They were trailing 6-3. They scored a run in the 7th. Reggie Jackson's double in the 9th. They had 2 down. Bando walk. Jackson single. After Johnson had led off with a double. Ball that Willie Mays lost somewhat in the sun. Foul back. Jackson knocked in a run. Then Gene Tennis singled to left on the first pitch to drive in the tying run. So the A's rallied to keep it going.
Kurt, Mike Andrews was on Dick Williams' 1967 Boston Red Sox miracle championship team in the American League.
The strike. He did a good job that year for the Red Sox, especially with the bat. A manager never forgets a player that does a good job. You know, he has confidence in him, Monty.
That's right, and as soon as he became available from Chicago, Dick Williams told Charlie Finley, I'd like to have him. He'll be able to help us.
2-strike pitch to Mike Andrews. A ball, 1-2. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3, he's out. McGraw's had an odd pattern today. He puts him down in order 1 inning, and he struggled the next inning. Came back in the 8th after giving up a run. Facing 6 batters in the 7th. He put him down in order in the 8th. And he gave up 2 runs in the 9th. Now he's retired the first 2 batters in the 10th. Rollie Fingers. 50,000 fans today and a beautiful sunshiny day. Watch the high fly. The Mays out in center field. Willie's coming on. And he has it. I think he lost the ball in the sun at first. He's out. 1, 2, 3, they go down. We're going to the 11th inning with a score 6-6.
Willie Mays batting in the 11th inning with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2.
Monty, it's interesting. Tony Kubek has come back upstairs. He was down on the field preparing for some post-game interviews if we had time. Did you hear anything down there interesting on that tag at the plate?
I did overhear something, and I saw 3 angles on the replay, which it was difficult to tell on, but I did overhear Fosse saying to his own players, I think I brushed him.
With the ball or the shoulder? 2-0 on Willie Mays. Fouled off, and you know Willie's trying to hit one downtown here. Paul Lindblad goes to work in the Oakland bullpen. Willie pops it up. It's right out in front of the plate, and Raleigh Fingers is calling for Gene Tennis to make the play on it. He staggered around a little bit and caught it. That couldn't have been lost in the sun. Look at Gino. Look at my heart.
Relief he has.
I tell you, he's a dandy.
Gene, World Series pressure taking place right now. Gino really making sure on it.
Here's Cleon Jones. He homered in the 2nd inning, singled in the 4th, walked and scored in the 6th, and twice. They've gotten him since then on a ground out and a pop-up. It hit him. Rowley dropped down sidearm and hit Cleon Jones with a breaking ball.
Let's look at it again. Early in the ball game, we had an important pitch thrown by the opposing relief pitcher, Tug McGraw, which may have been a big pitch and had kept the A's in this ball game to go in the extra inning. That was the one with 2 strikes at first that hit Campaneris off the helmet. A big run scored in that play.
1 out, 11th inning. Here's John Milner, who led the Mets in home runs this year. From behind first base, you see Gene Tennis holding the inside corner against Cleon Jones. Struck him out with a breaking ball. Raleigh Fingers' first strikeout, and Sal Bando goes in to talk. And what he's going to remind Raleigh Fingers of here is to keep the ball down on Jerry Grody, because this player has some power. He just missed the foul pole yesterday. See if Jones goes on a 3-1 count here. He's not going. Line drive left field. It's a base hit. Jones goes to second as Rudy picks the ball up, and now the Mets have a man in scoring position, and Don Hahn comes up. Back to the curveball. It's hit on the ground at Campaneris. He's going to go to first base. Got him. We go to the last half of the 11th inning. The score, the Mets 6 and the A's 6.
Don Hahn grounded out to end the top of the 11th inning, and the game was still tied. Unfortunately, as sometimes happens with 25-year-old footage, the final inning of the original broadcast of this game has been lost. Now, what we have found are selected highlights. And now, a World Series finish you won't want to miss.
Harrelson doubles, and McGraw's sacrifice attempt pops over the head of hard-charging Sal Bando, and the Mets have runners on 1st and 3rd. Raleigh Fingers recovers to get 2 outs, and it's all up to Willie Mays. The final hit of Willie's fabulous career breaks the tie, and the Mets lead 7-6. Paul Lindblad looks for the 3rd out with John Milner at the plate. As Milner's bouncer goes through the legs of second baseman Mike Andrews, McGraw and Mays come home, and the Mets now have a 3-run advantage. The strange saga of Mike Andrews is just beginning. Jerry Grody is ruled safe on this play with another error charged to Andrews for a wide throw pulling Tennis off first, while the 10th New York run crosses the plate. Stop action on the replay illustrates a very close call. It appears Tennis may still have had his foot on the bag, and Andrews would not have received the 2nd error. Following the game, the Andrews affair would escalate into a cause célèbre, with deactivating, reactivating, and a new champion of underdog causes. Late afternoon shadows mixed with sunshine combine to hide yet another fly ball. Mays can't locate it, and it's a leadoff triple for Reggie Jackson. Tug McGraw's 6th-inning stint is his longest of the year, and he makes it an unusual admission to his manager.
I made some good pitches, but I just let that one up a little bit.
I just want to give him time, too, to get loosened up.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I just try too hard sometimes, that's all. I might be out of gas, too. It's only your 7th inning.
Yeah.
Huh? It's only your 7th inning.
Could be.
Is it 7? I haven't got anybody out yet, though. It's not 7.
McGraw departs in favor of George Stone. Stone becomes the 11th pitcher of the day, tying a World Series record. Stone finally settles the issue after Jesus Alou singles Jackson home, and the Mets escape with a wild and woolly 10-7 victory accomplished in a mere 4 hours and 13 minutes. It's a new series marathon mark, and just about the same amount of time it takes to fly cross-country from the Bay Area to the glittering lights of New York City.